Hey there, good morning. My name is Nathaniel, and today I'm making a quick little video about manifestation, about what it means to manifest, and what the wisdom teachings and texts, masters, and truly your own internal state of existence tell us is true about proper manifestation. Now, I say proper manifestation as if to insinuate that there is an improper way to manifest. And while this is not necessarily true, what I'll say is that there are manifestations that are born in a loving environment, and there are manifestations that are born in a fear-based environment. So deciding for yourself and consciously creating within the arena of love versus the arena of fear is going to give you a much more elevated platform from which to create. So just in summary, since we have been talking about vibration, love vibrates faster than fear, and it covers a broader field, broader terrain. Indeed, fear actually carves out its small existence on the galactic scale within love. So today's video is titled Where You're Coming From, and I realize that you can't read that because I'm not that good at writing backwards. So where you're coming from, how your state of being directly affects your creative process and in turn the creation. And what I've drawn here is just a solid line, and then I wrote you, okay? So this barrier, you could say, is your skin. This is your form, your body, and radiating from within you to the world, and then from the world to you are vibrations. And no matter where you go, no matter when you go there, you're always going to be affected by vibrations. That is to say that you're living and moving and having your being within a vibratory universe. The universe vibrates, okay? The planet that you're on vibrates, your body vibrates, every bird vibrates, every snake vibrates, the clouds and the ion particles that are within them and the water molecules. It's all in a constant state of vibration. And what determines the form is the frequency. So the reason that planet Earth here is, we could say, existing, or existing the way that we perceive it to be existing, is because it vibrates at frequency X, for example's sake, okay? And Jupiter, which is much larger, vibrates at frequency R, okay? This is just purely examples. If we were using numbers, we could say Earth vibrates at like 333, and literally you can go and find this information, the exact hertz that planet Earth vibrates at. And I should have this for you, but I don't. And let's say Jupiter vibrates at 777, okay? Those look like sevens? Hey, they do. So this is just like a little bit of a crash course. So Jupiter holds together its form because the entire form is uniformly vibrating at the same frequency. The same with Earth, and the same with everything. Plants, the oak tree vibrates at a different frequency than the elm tree. That's what gives them their distinct characteristics. It's the same way with your human experience, with my human experience. All right. So now that we have, very simplistically covered vibration, we'll go on to say this, okay? Here you are. And here is the vibratory field. You could even say electromagnetic field that you are generating, all right? Your heart is what's generating it right here in the center, because it operates in an electromagnetic fashion, all right? It's responding to stimulus from the outside environment, or you could say from the internal environment, and then it is responding to the world. So every time that your heart beats, it sends, just like ripples in a pond, it sends out waves, okay? With every beat, there is a ripple effect. Just like when you drop a rock in the water, that ripple effect expands, all right? So that's the very basis of, by no means is this what I'm doing here scientific, but this is the basis of the science behind illuminating to you, proving to you, explaining to you that you're indeed a vibratory creature and that you are indeed vibrating, all right? If you go no further than to just understand that your heart creates a beat, which you know is true, and that beat ripples out away from you, then that's good enough for me. You understand that because your heart's beating, it's creating a ripple effect out into the universe, and therefore that is proof enough for me that I am a vibratory creature. All right? Now, what separates our animal form from the animal form of a lion or a cheetah? This is what separates us, okay? It's the mind, all right? The mind right here. Your head and the mind that's in it. Because this mind has the ability to decide what type of vibration, i.e., what frequency you're going to send to the universe, that you're going to generate. All right? So the heart generates a frequency of unconditional love. All right? It's able to do this because unconditional love already exists. So it is, in essence, emulating a perfect creation. So your heart emulates a perfect vibration, and it's the vibration of love. Up here in the mind, right in the central cortex, you have what's known as a limbic system, okay? And the limbic system is your fight or flight response system. So if you see a car coming, you don't really have to think about it, you just get out of the way. You see a tiger or a lion or a bear, you run, you jump, you get out of the way, you do something to protect your own existence. That's the fight or flight system, that's the limbic system. And it is hardwired into multiple areas of the brain. So it's receiving input from multiple areas of the brain. Therefore, it's not dependent upon simply seeing a thing in order to believe that your existence is threatened. It can come from a multitude of things, and usually it's like a sixth sense kind of a sensation, like a spidey sense type of thing. When you feel you're in danger, the limbic system is receiving multiple inputs from the nervous, the sight, the sound systems, the feeling. It's tuned into the vibratory state and nature of your environment via your subconscious mind and the antenna that we talked about yesterday that kind of picks up on vibrations. It is also the essence that we're about to get to of what generates the vibrations and where you need to go. Your subconscious mind is where you need to go in order to figure out what vibrations are being sent that you're unaware of, so that you can decide whether or not those vibrations serve you, so that you can either address them as being helpful or address them as being non-helpful. And simply through that act alone, identifying something as being non-helpful will eliminate it from your, you could say, repertoire, toolbox. A better way to say it will kind of remove it from your playlist, as though you're a radio and you have a playlist that keeps playing specific songs out to the universe, out to the listening audience. Well, the process of conscious creation is determining, what messages you're going to send at all times in order to generate the best possible experience for yourself and others. So just kind of wrap up that little analogy, it's like, do you want a happy listening audience? You project happy music. Do you want an angry existence for yourself and for those who you're interacting with? Well, then you would project angry music. So kind of coming back here to the limbic system that's in the mind, the fight or flight system, it has the ability to just kind of snap in and override other systems. It can be consciously regulated, and that's the process for the prefrontal cortex. But let's get back to this real quick. I'm gonna redraw this thing. So I'm gonna do it from a side view. All right, so here's your brain, essentially, kind of like this. And then it branches out, all right? And roughly, this is kind of your brain, all right? So this goes down to your spinal column, and down here is your heart. All right, up here is your brain. And somewhere around in here is your limbic system, and then this is your prefrontal cortex, up here. This is your spine, and it is your nervous system superhighway. All right, so when a signal comes from your hands, all right, out here, it's relayed through the nervous system, and that information goes into the brain for computation about what we're gonna do with what information that we just received. It kind of looks like I drew Snoopy. The same thing with your heart. Now, earlier I talked about the heart is continuously responding to a perfect vibration, and that vibration is love. And there are just as many neuron receptors within your heart as there are in the brain. So essentially, your heart is a brain. Okay, it has the ability to record memories, and it has the ability to make decisions. All right. What the masters tell us is that the heart will typically lean towards a passionate response, okay? A fiery response. All right, so it'll generally move in the direction of passion, and the brain will balance that. So the heart is feminine. Feminine energy typically is passionate and creative, and the masculine aspect of your creation, the brain, is logical and analytical. Now let's talk 1 second about how the brain has two hemispheres. One is dedicated to interpreting the world and applying, exerting its presence on the world in a creative manner. That's the feminine aspect of the brain. That is the left side of the brain. And the right side is your analytical side. It is your masculine side, and that is your right side of the brain, the right hemisphere. So a balanced existence looks like bringing those two things together so that the male and the female works together. Now, here's the thing. If the brain were not here, okay, okay, let's say that the entire creation was feminine. There was no logical aspect of the brain. Then you would essentially you wouldn't have any inhibition. You would have nothing limiting your creative potential, your capacity to love. So for a man or even for a woman, it doesn't matter. It's a process of figuring out where your blockages are. Do you have a blockage in centers of your brain that resonate with masculine energy, or do you have blockages within your brain that resonate with feminine energy? Essentially, where do you need more time? Where do you need to spend more time? Do you need to be more creative? Do you need to be more logical? Making that decision for yourself in terms of what's going to bring you the most joy is crucial to living a happy life. So we have the hand out here. It receives input through the nervous system. It communicates that to the brain. Now, here's your limbic system, okay? And so you have incoming spiritual intuition, all right? You have incoming thoughts at all times, right? And you also have outgoing, like you're projecting outwards from your brain and your heart. So these vibrations are continuously being created, okay? Now, if we've established that the heart generally vibrates to the beat of unconditional love, then why is not every single being on earth unconditionally loving? It's because these two systems, all right, have to work together in order for that to be the state of existence for whatever being is having the existence. So here's how it breaks down, y'all. You have chakras, all right? This is an energy center. Because it's generating a vibration, it's an energy center. All right, there's energy present here, radiating from within the body, so it's an energy center. So the heart is an energy center. It's also referred to as a chakra, and a chakra is a name for spinning wheel, okay? Essentially, a center of vibration, a place from which vibration comes from. Within your body, these places are associated with major organs, right? Organs that serve a legitimate purpose within your body. So the heart is obvious. Below that is your digestive system. Below that is your reproductive system. And below that is your sacral, or the base of the coccyx within your spine. And that center is associated with survival. Above the heart, you have the thyroid gland, all right? Right here. In your throat. That sits about there, all right? And it's an energy center. It's associated with your conscious exertion upon where we are, the earth, your conscious mark on the universe. And another huge attribute of this chakra, okay, because the heart is unconditional love, another huge area that comes in your spiritual walk is understanding that from here unconditional love is generated, but from here reality is manifest. In this center, the mind, is where you put together the world picture for yourself that you're going to enact, that you're going to create. So this one, because we give it more energy, produces a more dominant vibration. So this vibration here essentially cancels out. Like if this vibration were the one making decisions, and it's only vibrating at, like, let's say, if we're using sound, let's say that the heart would be vibrating at 10 decibels. Let's say the mind is producing enough vibration to come in at 100 decibels. Which obviously 100, right? It's being given more energy by you, or I'm giving my mind more energy. So it's producing a wider outreach. It's producing an overpowering signal. So this is mindfulness practice. How do we get 50-50? All right? How do we get these two energy centers vibrating in unison? How do we get the mind to create unconditional love, which the heart is perfect at? And how do we get the heart to understand when, walking into a really dangerous situation, even though an unconditionally loving response could be used there, that unconditional love energy could be used there, maybe walking into that situation is not very advantageous to us continuing to exist, to live. So this is where the balance comes in, all right? Logic and passion balancing each other out, masculine and feminine balancing each other out. So here we have the thyroid, all right? And its existing purpose is purification. All right, it's kind of like a kingdom of heaven and an entity that's trying to get there. All right, not that it's outside of you or anything, not that it's like up in the clouds, or anything like that. It's just you are desiring to be unconditionally loving, but there's some prerequisites that you have to be disciplined. It has to be your way of being. This goes back to yesterday's talk about being focused. You have to focus in on what it is you're going to do so that you can consciously create it in a way that is going to match this signature vibration of the heart, which is love. All right, so the energy center coming from here, and it's coming out of me right now, like this talk that I'm giving, this class that I'm giving, this video that I'm making, it's these words as I'm speaking them, they're vibrating away from my thyroid. And with enough mindfulness practice, you're gonna feel this. You're gonna know when you're in that state of pure talk, like pure, what's coming from you resonates with your being. It's coming from the super consciousness and flowing through you. And you're gonna feel this energy center, and this energy center, and they're all gonna be lit up. They're gonna be lit up in a way that's vibrating out to the universe that's undeniable. All right, it's like the entire half of your body up here is consciously communicating with the universe. You're not only communicating with whoever is watching them, you're literally giving a class to esoteric beings that you can't see right now. Another time, another day. So these three energy centers now, they're lit up, all right? Because what you're saying is, when you're doing this, when you're communicating from the heart, when you're communicating from a place of logical understanding, right? You're communicating something that you know about. It's like you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. When you're communicating from that place, all right, it is true. Let's see if I can write backwards. It is useful. Oh boy, here we go. It is true, it is useful, and it is kind. All right, so when you're communicating and you're being honest, you're being genuine with your communication, and it's coming from your thyroid, it's coming from your center of purgatory, your center of pureness. It's true, it's useful, and it's kind. Right? Those are the three gates. As inspiration is generated here, or inspiration is generated here, you're gonna filter it through these three things: true, useful, or kind. Then you'll project it outward from your thyroid gland. Now, let's say you're sitting in the room with me right now, or you're watching this video, and you're tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. You're resonating at a higher frequency than you would normally be, because what you're observing right now, what you're listening to right now is not speaking to your logical processing centers in the brain. It's not speaking to your creative processes in the brain. I'm not speaking to your ability to be truthful, useful, and kind. I'm not even speaking to your capacity to love. I'm speaking to this receptive antenna within the heart that powers the entire thing. This source point, this point of contact that is your true identity. This is coming from me. You can make your own decision. This is the conclusion that I came to long ago, and that has through practical application, through interaction with the universe, through conversation, through meditation, through conduct, through whatever it is, what life experience has emphatically proven to me time and time again that this is who I really am and from where all my energy comes from. All right, it comes from, you call it the soul, you could call it your non-physical existence, but essentially it is that this is the point of contact with a much larger essence of myself and of the universe that is witnessing, receiving all of the input that these energy centers, the heart, the thyroid, the pineal gland, the digestive system, reproductive system, and the root chakra, all of these centers are serving the purpose of relaying the information to my source point of contact, my soul, whatever the case is, the divine something that is looking through your eyes, the divine something that is looking through your eyes, that you are, it is your identity. That's what these purposes of these chakras serve. They serve as the non-physical body, point of reference through which the human experiences, or the experiences of being a bird or a whale or an animal or a tree, all of those experiences are processed so that the non-physical version of yourself will experience them as well. So you have your physical body and then you have your non-physical body, and they're all in one. And these energy centers are the representatives of the non-physicalness of yourself. They also represent the physicalness of yourself. But the point of this talk was, where are you coming from? So where are you coming from? Do you understand that these energy centers are producing vibrations? If you understand that, then you need to understand this, that any one of these energy centers can be blocked, all right? Essentially, you could like put up a wall all the way around it so that nothing can get in, and what goes out is only what you're deciding goes out. And if you have a wall up, it's because you're afraid of something. You're protecting yourself from something, so you're limiting the capacity for vibration that an energy center has because you're putting a wall around it. Or you're just putting a blockage between whatever's coming from. If you have a blockage in your thyroid, your energy center up here, then whatever inspiration, whatever wonderful things are coming from your heart and saying, hey brain, we should do this, we should try this, we should experiment with this. If you have a blockage here, it's not gonna get up here. Right? There's gonna be ineffective communication. Let's see if I can point to on the screen here. If you have a blockage here, you're gonna have ineffective communication between these two. All right, and that's the point here that I'm trying to make. Where are you coming from? Are your energy centers open? Are you creating the life and the world that you want to live in? If the answer is here and now, no. There's things that you need to sit down and get mindful about. You need to understand where you may or may not have blockages so that you can start consciously constructing a life. And most importantly here, to wrap this video up, if anybody is going to consciously create a life, you're going to need the consent of God, consciousness, and your fellow human being. God is always God, the universe, unconditional love, source energy. It's always going to support whatever it is you commit to. but it cannot support mixed energy or diverted energy because it's not mixed energy or diverted energy. It can't identify with mixed energy because it's not mixed energy. This is the talk I had about yesterday when I said white light in. This is the pyramid, all right? Represents you. White light in, white light out. All right? Focus. Focus enables your ability to take pure, unadulterated energy from the universe and direct it to the process of creation. If you have mixed energy, it looks like white light in and then fractalized light out. All right? And when you interact with other people, if you are, come on, whiteboard, stay up here. If you are fractalizing your energy, if you're diverting your energy, so as to say you're having a conversation with someone in where you're trying to convince them of your point of view, or you're trying to suggest something, or whatever it is, all right? If you're just talking about how great your day was, but your tone of voice and your body language and your energy is communicating that actually today was not that great, and there's actually something bothering me, and that's really what's going on. And people pick up on that. You've had it happen to you, and you've called other people out on it. It's certainly true, all right? We know when something is legitimately wrong with someone and they're not saying anything about it. Our intuition is what gives us the ability to do this, all right? So you're gonna need the consent of others if you're gonna build a business. You're gonna need the consent of others if you're gonna build a business, let's say. And you could look at anything as being a business, right? Being an artist as being a business, being an athlete as being a business. You're gonna need the consent of others. The honest to God best way to get other people to go along with whatever it is you're doing is to be genuine and kind, and to place their needs before your own, all right? Because being a mindful individual is a declaration to the universe that you are going to be loving. You are going to place the needs of others before yourself, because you have grasped a very simple concept, and it is that this video is getting a little long, and I do realize that, but hang on one sec. You have realized a very simple truth, and it is that the entire universe, the planet Earth, trees, God, consciousness, source energy, their entire thing is the embodiment of unconditional love. So they're continuously providing for others. Trees are continuously providing air for us to breathe. The earth is continuously providing a firmament for us to move upon, and consciousness is continuously providing everything for us to have an experience within. So everything is things that are larger than us, things that are more pure, things that are more benevolent. They are that way. Their vibratory signature is greater than ours at this current nexus in experience, because they're selflessly serving, and they are allowed to essentially manifest more unconditional love. So placing the needs of others before your own is going to facilitate all of these blockages, if you have blockages. So third eye, thyroid, heart, digestive system, sacral or reproductive organ, root chakra. When these energy centers vibrate in unison, all right, there's this unimpeded flow, all right? It just, energy cycles up and down, it radiates out, and it's uniform in its vibration because it's emulating consciousness, it's emulating God, it's emulating love. It's being pure. It's not allowing, all right, it's purely vibrating. So this entire structure is vibrating in unison, so it's pure vibration. If you have a blockage in any one of your energy centers, the vibration takes on a completely different structure, a completely different shape. Let's say you're only vibrating from your first 3 chakras. This is what your vibration is going to look like. With like tiny little ripples here, if any. All right, so you're going to be disproportionate, unbalanced. The entire point of this video is to demonstrate that when someone, you or I, when someone, all right, you or I, this is your head, this is your throat, this is the center of your body, your heart, your digestive system, your reproductive organs, and then your root chakra. When someone is vibrating disproportionately, other people know. You know. Your intuition tells you so. So if this person comes along and they're only vibrating from their first 3 energy centers, which is survival, expansion, and willpower, sexual exploration, curiosity, creativity is a huge one here, willpower, assertion. If they're only vibrating from these 3 energy centers, but they're trying to convince you that they're vibrating from here, your intuition sends off a red flag, all right? It's like ding, ding, ding. And you know, all right? So therefore, balancing out your energy centers is going to be absolutely crucial to manifesting a balanced, happy, and dream creating and fulfilling life. All right, well, I've got other things to do today, so so God bless you, and I'm going to keep putting stuff up like this. It's what I'm good at. So have a wonderful day. And we'll talk to you later.